everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Darian, aka LOL Not Darian on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. Please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and comment down below what you think about this video, because we are talking about the breakup that happened between me and SB. Don't get it twisted, there are other story times about me and SB, but I just want to tell this because it's just what's been on my mind, so why not, right? So let's get into it. Mind you, me and this man were together for 3.5 months. No, not 3.5 months. Girl, what am I on? We were together for 3.5 years, and this is the last 4 months of our relationship. So we have a lot going on, or I guess like the last 4 months of our relationship and then the aftermath. So there's a lot going on in just that little time span, but also there's a lot that happened before all of that. Like the time the FBI showed up at our door. Let me get on into this story time. So this was around the time, I think it was March. It was March because it was spring break. It was after I had literally cussed him out on Valentine's Day and ruined our Valentine's Day, because I was just so like irritated with him. I knew that he had been like cheating on me, but not like, it was strange. He was cheating on me, but not cheating on me, but cheating on me. You know, like one of those things where it's just like a little textuationship type of shit. And are you talking about Bailey? Yeah. And I remember he had, it was like after all of that, right? So he was still in college. I had just graduated. The year before, like that summer before. This was March 2023, I believe. I graduated August 2022, but he was still in college, right? And so obviously March is spring break. Spring break was coming up, and he wanted to go to South Padre with his friends for spring break. He had just met like these group of Hispanic boys that, so disclaimer, SB was white. He was European. He was born in France. His mom was Greek. So he was like this whitey white, right? But when he came to America, he really only hung out with like the Black and Hispanic people. And so that was like really who he meshed with the most. So he had just met some Hispanic boys from the Valley, and he was like, he would go to the Valley every once in a while and like hang out with them the year before. And then that year when I had graduated and he was still in school and spring break came up, they all wanted to go to South Padre. So he was like, oh yeah, like I met this one guy we will call Byron. I don't fucking know. We'll call him Byron. Byron had a girlfriend, and he was going to South Padre with his girlfriend. And so he was like, well, I want like my boys there, whatever. So he invited SB and SB's other friend. We'll call him Ricky, because that's his name, because I don't really give a fuck about giving him a nickname. It just really doesn't matter. But he was like, you know, we're going to South Padre with Ricky and Byron's girlfriend or whatever, and it's gonna be like a time, right? And I was like, okay, you know, I'm that type of girlfriend. I want you to hang out with your friends, but I'm also the type of girlfriend now where I need to be able to meet your friends. I need to meet your friends, and I need to be able to hang out with your friends and everything. I'm okay with you hanging out with your friends by yourself, but I need to at least meet them, you know? And at this point, I hadn't met Ricky or Byron or Byron's girlfriend or anything, but at the same time, I just thought that it was SB not wanting me to introduce me to any of his friends because they were also new to him. He had just met them that year, right? So I didn't want to push and be like, well, let me meet them too, and da-da-da-da. Like, I was just like, okay, you know, I don't want you to like, I literally am going to be working. I was an auditor at this point, so it was busy season for me. So I was like, I'm going to be working literally like nonstop this entire week, even on Saturdays. So I don't want you to just have to stay in the house with me while I work. Like, I'd rather you go and enjoy your spring break, because you still have your spring breaks to enjoy. And then once you get out, or like, you know, just come a little bit earlier than when spring break ends, so that you and I can spend time together, because that's all I really want. I just want to spend some time with you without us having to worry about like you having to be somewhere in your college town, spending time there, and like, you know, me being at work, I'd love to just have some time with you. And he's like, okay. So he went. I'm not gonna lie, I'm barely hearing much from him that entire time that he's in South Padre. He's like texting me really more so at night, and I found it strange, but I I chalked it up to it being South Padre, because if you don't know, South Padre Island is the ghetto during spring break, and like like the service is really bad there during spring break because there's so many people on this itty bitty island. Nobody's messages are really getting through and everything. And so while I'm trying to like text him, his messages are barely getting through. When he's uploading like videos to Snapchat, I mean not Snapchat, Instagram, his videos are like really grainy and shit. Like you can tell he barely has service. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's just like the service of the island or what. Like maybe that's why he's not able to really contact me until like everybody's asleep or whatever, right? So one of the nights he texts me while he's in South Padre, and he tells me that he's sleeping in his car. And I'm like, why are you sleeping in your car? I thought like you had accommodations when you got there. Because one thing about me, I'm gonna make sure I got somewhere to be at nighttime when the lights go out. I don't care how broke I am. I better have somewhere to be when the lights go out. And he was sleeping in his car, and he said like, oh, like my friends, we all booked like a room or whatever, but like they're trying to like, they're bringing bitches back over and like da 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 da, and like I don't want to do that, so I'm sleeping in my car, da da da. And I was like, okay, whatever. And I was like, okay, well just be safe, because it's South Padre Island. It's a lot of college people. I know there are some people that's probably like looking around for cars to break into. This man had a BMW. He had literally just gotten a BMW that September or that August after I graduated, because he had passed all of his classes, so his parents bought him a fucking BMW for just passing his classes. So I was like, be careful. You have like a nice BMW. You sleeping in your car, like in your fucking trunk. Like, be careful, right? So we're barely texting. He told me that he was supposed to come back Monday. So he was supposed to be gone, I think, Friday to Monday. And then like Monday night, he would be like driving his way back to me, right? Monday comes, he tells me that his friends got tickets to see whatever like music festival they had going on there. I think it was like, it was a music festival, and it had like Nardo Wick and like shit like that there. I don't know a single Nardo Wick song. Mama too old for that. I don't know a single Nardo Wick song, but apparently that's what the people be into nowadays. So he said like one of his friends got a few tickets for Nardo Wick, and like they ended up getting sick. Like it was Byron and Byron's girlfriend. They ended up getting tickets for it, but then Byron's girlfriend got sick, and obviously Byron's not gonna go without his girlfriend. So he stayed home, and he was like, well, if y'all want my tickets, y'all can get them. So he gave SB one of the tickets, then he gave Ricky the other ticket, and they went with this girl. So we will call the girl, not the girlfriend, we will call the girl who went to the festival with them Fran. So they all went together and everything, and they had a good time. And he told me like, oh, well, we got tickets to see Nardo Wick, so we're going to stay another night. And I said, okay. So then the next night comes, and he's supposed to be on his way. He says, oh, we're going to stay another night. So mind you, this is Tuesday. He's telling me they're going to stay another night. Long story short, they did not start coming back until Thursday. So I'm like, okay, whatever. He was having a good time. But I am kind of a little bit pissed because I wanted us to spend time together. And like, I don't know why, even though like I was working and everything, but it was just like, I would have liked us to have time in the house together, especially because like during spring break, I was working with a manager or a senior who wasn't making us stay until fucking 6 every day. Like she wanted to leave at 5:30 every day. And so we left at 5:30 every day, which was the earliest that we could leave in audit. We would leave at 5:30 every day and get home. I would get home at like 6:15. And so I was like, I wanted to spend time with you and you're not here, you know? So he gets home Thursday night, and I'm just like, it is what it is, right? So the next day, I go to work, I come home, and I'm not gonna lie, I started an argument with him because I was just why did you stay for so long? Like, I get it, you got the tickets for the concert that night, but then you stayed for an extra night. Why? Like, why? I couldn't understand it, right? And maybe he got drunk or something, but he just he was like, I was just having fun, da da da. Like, I just wanted to stay for another night. And the thing was, when he came Thursday night, he didn't get there till Thursday night, but he left Thursday morning. But he had to drop Ricky off at their college town, and then he also had to drop Fran off in Austin. And Austin is like an 8-hour drive from South Padre Island. And then he had to drive from South Padre Island all the way back to Houston. And so I was like, why did you have to drive that bitch back home? And he was like, well, she got into an argument with her mom, and like she just randomly packed all her bags and went to South Padre Island, da da da. And I was like, but you just met that bitch. Like, you literally just met that bitch, like, literally at the trip, like on the trip, because she was friends with Byron's girlfriend. That's how they met. I was like, you just met her on the trip, and all of a sudden you're hopping in your car and driving her all the way back to Austin? That doesn't make any fucking sense. Why are you driving this bitch back to Austin? So we get into an argument or whatever, and then he's like, bro, let's just drop it. I'm like, okay, whatever. So he starts showing me pictures of the trip, right? And he's like telling me about like all the fun he had and everything, and I'm like, putting a big smile on my face, just trying to be happy for him because he's finally starting to get out of the house. Because he swore he didn't have friends because of me, because his friends are like drug dealers or whatever. And he was like, I didn't want you around, da 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 da. Like, I don't have any friends because of you. No, you don't have any friends because of you. Like, don't put that on me, because I didn't tell you to cut them off. I didn't tell you to cut them off. Now, I just would not deal with you if I knew you were a drug dealer. But like back then, I had no clue. And then when I did find out, I'm not going to tell you to cut off your friends. You cut them off because you didn't feel like talking to them during the pandemic, when you couldn't hang out with them. When you were too busy being up under me, you weren't worried about being with your friends. That has absolutely fucking nothing to do with me, and don't put that on me. So when he started finally getting friends again, I was just happy for him, So he showed me pictures and everything. And then he shows me this video, right? Well, first he shows me this picture of Fran putting on Ricky's jeans, but Ricky's jeans has SB's belt on, and like SB has he has a very distinct belt because he used to collect BB belts, or really knockoff BB belts, and so I would see them and be like, I saw the belt on Ricky's jeans, and I was like, why'd she have your belt on? And he's like, bro, like, don't fucking start. And I was like, no, like, why did she have your belt on? And he was like, bro, she was just putting on Ricky's jeans, like she was just playing around, da 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 da, like Ricky likes her and da da da. And I was like, okay, whatever. And he was like Ricky just had like the belt on, and then she put Ricky's jeans on, and like her and Ricky got something going on, da da da. And I was like, okay, cool, whatever. But then I saw a video of SB in the car with Fran and Ricky. Why was Ricky in the back seat and Fran was in the passenger seat? And I'm looking at the video. SB done propped the camera up, and I see Fran in the passenger seat in SB's Montclair jacket that I bought him for Christmas. And I remember I spazzed the fuck out. I was like, why the fuck does she have your jacket on? Why does she have your Montclair jacket on? And he was like, bro, she was fucking cold. You see she got a fucking bikini on, because she had a bikini on, right? You see she has a fucking bikini on. Like, when she left her parents after getting in a fucking argument, all she packed was a bikini, because she wasn't expecting South Padre Island to be fucking cold, and it was fucking cold, and all she packed was fucking bikinis. So what you want me to do? You want me to just let her be fucking cold? Yes. Let that bitch be cold and let her learn her fucking lesson to not just pack bikinis when she fucking travels. Hello? Or let the man in the back seat, hello Ricky, to give her his fucking jacket. Why are you letting this bitch that you met on the trip wear your Montclair jacket that I bought you for Christmas because she's cold? I should shoot both of y'all. Because what the fuck are you talking about to me right now? He's like, should I just let her be cold? I say, yeah. He's like, you're so fucking mean. You're so rude. I don't care. I don't care. Why the fuck does that bitch have your Montclair on that I bought you for Christmas? Your $300 Montclair jacket that I bought you for Christmas, you're letting some random white bitch that you met in South Padre Island 2 days ago fucking wear it? What's wrong with you? So I was like, oh, you're a weirdo. Okay. Okay, and I was like, I just really don't like that. I think that's disrespectful. She shouldn't be wearing your jacket, especially, like, in general, she shouldn't be wearing your jacket, but especially when she has a fucking bikini on, she's sitting in your front seat and your girlfriend's not there. Like, that's just strange. That's just really fucking strange. And then you're showing me this video and I'm supposed to be okay with it? How you gonna get mad at me because I'm getting upset about something that you showed me? Like, how do you not realize that this is like something diabolical? Imagine if I was in the front seat of my car because, and you'll see this later, you'll figure out what I mean later when I say this. Imagine if I'm sitting in the front seat of my car and my guy best friend is in my passenger seat and I'm wearing his jacket while in a video with him. You'd be pissed. Why the fuck do you have this bitch? Anyway, so from that trip on, Fran all of a sudden became his best friend. And that should have been my red flag. You meet a bitch once and she's your best friend. Oh, he starts hanging out with Fran. Like I said, Fran lives in Austin, but Fran also has another best friend we will call Gaga. Because she was actually named after a singer, or she wasn't named after a singer, but she had the same name as a singer. But I'm not going to say the name. Her name was Gaga, right? Gaga lived in Dallas. So SB would either be in Austin with Fran because her dad had a lake house, like a really nice lake house in Austin, or he would be in Dallas with Gaga and they would all go to Dallas together. So he would always be there, and it got to a point where I would be like, why don't you ever hang out with me anymore? Like, you're all, like, every weekend that you get that's free, you're with them. And he used to spend, and it's not like I'm asking you to spend every single weekend with me because I like my weekends alone sometimes. And like, I forgot just how much I like my weekends alone until you started giving me weekends alone. But it's like every single weekend is actually kind of fucking diabolical. What are you doing? What are you doing with these bitches that every single weekend, like him and Ricky would hang out with Fran and Gaga, right? And I'm just like, what are y'all, like, it's given two man. Like, why are both of y'all, why is this a friend group? It's given two man. And like, Ricky had actually ended up liking both Gaga and Fran, but they did not like him. They would confide in SB that they didn't like him, that they didn't like Ricky, and he would just say, like, you know, he would just tell me, like, yeah, they don't like him, like, da da da, and like, he's making it awkward for us, and like, da 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 da, and I'd just be like, oh, you know, that's strange. Like, you know, I would engage in the conversation, but like, it was just like, I really don't care, because these are literally all faceless people to me. Like, I literally have to go on their Instagram to see what they look like, or go on your Instagram because he would post pictures of them. He would post pictures of them, and so that's the only way that I would be able to see them, but I never got to meet them. As many times as I would ask him, like, can I meet them? He'd be like, no, like, I know you're not gonna like them, like, you're gonna feel strange around them, and da da da, and it's like, you don't know me. Like, I'm so sorry. I know we've been together for 3.5 years, but like, genuinely, you don't know how I'm going to act around new people. You never seen me behave around new people, so you don't know how I'm going to act around them. And so for you to say that is just getting suspicious, because why can't I meet literally anybody that you are spending more time with them than you're spending with me? You know what I mean? So I'm just like, okay, whatever. So he keeps spending time with them and everything. I would keep asking him, like, why are you not spending time with me? And I remember one time I straight up told, like, he had told me, like, you know, you're my best friend, and like, you know, I would never want to like do anything and like, you know, hurt you or anything like that. And I remember breaking down, and I was just like, you keep telling me that I'm your best friend, but I'm wondering why, as your best friend, those bitches are getting more of you than I am. Months passed. It was May at this point. So from March to May, every single weekend, so I think like 8 weekends in a row, he's going to Austin or Dallas to spend time with them every single weekend. And I would literally have to beg him to spend a weekend with me, for him to spend a weekend with me. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's because I don't meet them where they're at. And so I had told him, like, what if we went to Dallas, because my best friend Peach lives in Dallas, right? With her now fiance. And I was like, what if we went to Dallas and I spend time with Peach, me and you spend time with Peach and her boyfriend. And then after that, I got to go meet your friends that are in Dallas. So he starts getting excited and he's like, oh, absolutely, I'm so fucking excited. I would love to do that, right? So I'm like, okay, cool. So I text Peach and I'm like, yeah, we're gonna come to Dallas, because I also had never seen Peach's like apartment and like the life that she was leading in Dallas and everything, because she lived in Houston all her life. That's where we met. We met in the 6th grade. We became best friends in the 9th grade. She moved when we were like 23, 24 years old. So I had never seen like her apartment or anything in Dallas. So, and like Dallas was like a place that I'd never been outside of work training. So I was like, I'm down to go, right? So I texted her, I was like, hey, we're gonna come to Dallas and see you and your boyfriend, and like we're gonna spend time with you and right? And it's gonna be me and SB. I think I should also disclaim, my car is a hoopty. So my car cannot drive to Dallas. Like it's not one of those cars that can do like a whole 3-hour drive. I know I said that I drove to Austin when I first got my car, but obviously that was when I first got my car and I didn't realize just how much of a hoopty my car was. Now I understand, and like at 22, 23, I understood, or yeah, 22, 23, I understood just how much of a hoopty my car was, and I was not trying to go on a long road trip in my car, right? So SB was gonna be obviously the one driving us because he has a brand new fucking BMW. When I told SB that I wanted to go to Dallas, he immediately picked up his phone and he like got excited. He immediately picked up his phone and got on the phone with his friends. And I was like, okay, cool. He's like planning something for us, right? Fast forward about a week, because I think it was like, I planned the little like trip or road trip 2 or 3 weeks in advance, right? So fast forward a week, he's telling me about this party that's going to be happening in Dallas the weekend that we're going to be in Dallas. And he's like telling me all about it and everything. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I can't wait to meet your friend. He goes, oh, no. Like, you can't come. And I'm like, what do you mean I can't come? And he was like, well, I'm going to be a +1. So I can't be a +1 bringing a +1. And we're going to be at somebody's house who I've never been at before. And so I just don't really feel comfortable bringing you at somebody's house who I've never been at before and who I've never met. And I'm like, okay, well, are y'all going to spend the entire time at that house, or are y'all going to go to a club? And he was like, I mean, that's just the pregame, but like at the same time, like, why would you want to come when you haven't even pregamed with us? And I'm like, huh? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Like, that's literally, huh? So I'm like, I just really don't understand why I can't come. And he was like, because like it's gonna be me and my friends. Like, why would you come? And I was like, okay, all right, cool, whatever. And like at this point, I just kind of like given up, because I was just like, he was always on some weird shit. So like it was like if I pushed more, it was gonna be a fucking argument, and I was just not in the mood to have an argument. And I was just like, okay, bro, like you got it, whatever, right? So I was like, I'll just figure out something. I was just like, I haven't seen Peach in a while. Maybe she and I can like go and like get some drinks, just the two of us, and catch up while he's out having like, the club and the pregame and everything with his friends. And then the next day we can do a brunch, right? And then also we would have that Friday night, so I'm like, we could still spend that Friday night together and da. He tells me one day that Fran called him, and I'm like, oh, what does she want? And he tells me that apparently she had a modeling event. She was a model in Dallas. She had a modeling event in Dallas and he needed to take her. And I was like, okay, what day? And he says, you're going to be upset. And I'm like, what day? And he tells me Friday. The Friday that he and I are supposed to go to Dallas together. And I'm like, oh, so what does that mean? And he was like, well, she needs a ride there. I said, you have to be fucking her. He got so upset. He was like, why the fuck would you say that? Why would I be fucking her? Da, da, da. And I'm like, because there's no way that this random bitch you met 2 months ago is calling you on the phone from Austin, knowing you're in Houston, to ask you to drive her to fucking Dallas. I wouldn't even call my mama to come pick me up from Austin and take me to Dallas if she's in Houston, unless she is literally my last resort, unless I literally don't have a penny to my fucking name. What are you talking about? She called you and asked you to come pick her up and take her to Dallas. He told me, so you might have to stay home this weekend. What do you mean I might have to stay home this weekend because some random bitch that you met 2 months ago needs a ride? And I was like, no, we're gonna talk about this when I get home. And he was like, okay. So I get off the phone and I get home that night and I'm like, so why she can't take a bus or something? He was like, well, I mean, I wish I would have thought of that, but like I already told her yes. Why would you tell her yes? We didn't even fucking talk about it. I literally told you when I was at work that we need to talk about it. Why the fuck would you tell this stupid bitch yes? What the fuck? And I was like, what do you mean you already told her yes? And he was like, well, I mean, I already told her yes. Like, I wish you would have told me that before. Why would you say anything before you and I had a discussion about it? That makes no fucking sense. So you already committed to that. And he was like, yeah, so like, maybe you can drive yourself. Mind you, like I said, I have a hoopty. He knows I have a hoopty. He knows my car be breaking down every 6 months. What do you mean that I'm gonna have to drive myself 3 hours away in a hoopty? With no, mind you, at this point I didn't have AC in my car. I just got my AC fixed last summer. So you're gonna choose a random bitch that you met 2 months ago over your girlfriend in 3 years? And he was like, well, it's not set in stone. Like, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. Like, who says I have to choose her over you? Who says that I have to do one or the other? Like, I can just take both of y'all and da da da. And I was like, okay, well, I get off of work. Because the thing was, he was supposed to pick me up from work when I got off. And I was gonna go in at 7 in the morning. Like, have him drop me off at 7 in the morning so that I could leave at 4. And I was gonna put my suitcases in his trunk. And then we were gonna go from my job to Dallas. Right, and we were gonna stay with Peach because Peach and her boyfriend had a 2-bedroom apartment at that point, so we were gonna stay with them. Literally, like I already had like all the plans and everything, so I was like, so you're going to go and pick her up after we you're gonna basically prolong our trip by 6 hours so we could drive to Austin and pick that bitch up and then go to Dallas. And he's like, I'll figure it out, and I was like, tell that bitch to take a bus. And he's like, she can't afford a bus, Darian. You don't understand. She doesn't have money. She doesn't have her parents supporting her. Da da da. She works. Like, outside of modeling, she had a full-time job. You tell me that she can't afford a $30 bus fare? And she lives with her dad. She doesn't even live on campus. She lives with her dad. It's the summertime. Where's her money going? Or her dad is a fucking millionaire. Like, the area that her dad lived and on the lake, to have a fucking lake house in Austin, Texas is like, that house is $1 million. You're telling me that she doesn't have a $30 bus fare? And he's like, well, how's she gonna get to the bus stop, Darian? Her dad works. Uber. Or have her dad drop her off at the bus station before he goes to work, and then she could just sit at the fucking bus station until the bus gets there. She wants it that badly, but she doesn't want it badly enough that she's calling you to come take her. What the fuck are you talking about? So I was like, she can figure it out. That's not your problem to figure out. Like, why are you worried about her instead of worried about me? I'm supposed to be your girlfriend now. So he's like, we'll figure it out, right? So we go to bed. Next day I go to work, everything. A few days before, he ends up telling me like, oh, I just need to figure it out. I'm gonna like let her go and like da da da. And the night before, he tells me like, yeah, you're just gonna have to stay home.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say.
You're just gonna have to stay home. That's the only way I can think of how to like do this whole thing so that I can pick her up and take her. And I was like, why can't she just go later? Like, he was like, screaming at me again, like, you don't know the time of the fucking modeling event, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Basically, he ends up making me stay home. so that he can take this bitch to her modeling event. And you know what he tells me? That Friday, while I'm at work, he calls me on my lunch break because he wants some company while he is driving to go pick that bitch up. He goes, yeah, you know what I didn't even know until she told me right now? And I was like, what? He was like, she has a court date in Dallas, and so that's why she has to go there before like X, Y, and Z time. Like her modeling event doesn't even start till 7. She has a court date that she has to get to, and so I have to go pick her up so that we can get there before the court closes. Mind you, they didn't even get there in time. So he could have just picked me up and took her, but he didn't. That whole thing happened, right? And it just left a really like sour taste in my mouth about him and Fran's friendship. A week before I go to Miami, I start feeling really weird in the panty. I can't figure out like why I'm feeling this way, what's going on, what's happening, right? I'm like, okay. Okay, I know my man been like showing out. What's going on? What's going on? So I asked him, and I'm like, hey, and I literally asked him so calmly. I'm gonna tell y'all exactly how I asked him. I said, hey, I've been feeling really not fresh down there, and I'm just wondering why. Have you been cheating on me? Asked him exactly like that, right? Very calm, very collected. I'm not coming up to him, cussing him out, nothing, because at this point, it's just like, I know you've been doing something. Because there were also, I didn't even tell y'all this. There were times where he would come to Houston with his friends and he would still make me stay home and he would turn off his location. He would be in downtown Houston. I'm here in North Houston. A 30-minute drive from Houston at the Airbnb he was staying at, and he would not give me the address. He would turn off his location. He would not text me the entire time, and he would say like him and some people had to like share a fold out couch or whatever, him and the guys, so that the girls could have like a bedroom to sleep in and everything, but he would never give me the address, right? And I remember one time I asked him, I was like, why can you not just, because mind you, I'm a 30-minute drive away. I'm literally in North Houston. I am in Houston. I am in the same fucking zip code. Why can't you just drive to my house and stay in my apartment in a place that you're comfortable in? You've been here plenty of times before. You can save money, because once again, also, he would always bitch at me, bitch and moan and complain and whine about spending money on dates. Because that's another thing, I gotta tell y'all that as well. He would always bitch and moan and complain and whine about spending money on dates, right? And so I'd be like, well, why don't you're spending money on these Airbnbs, splitting them with your friends, why don't you just stay with me at my apartment so that you can save money, and then we can go on dates and you don't have to bitch and moan and complain and whine, and then, you know, you're sleeping in a bed that you're comfortable with, you're not spending money, and then you still get to be in the same city as your friends, you can still meet up with them. He told me, no, I don't like to do that, because sometimes when my friends and I get home from the club, we like to play like drunk Uno or something, and I don't want to miss out on that. So he would never sleep over at my place because he didn't want to miss out on playing card games drunk. And then the other thing that I was going to say was about him like always complaining to me about the money and everything. He literally, I remember one time I asked him if we could go to Snooze for brunch. And he said, why do you always want to spend fucking money? That's all you ever want to do is spend some fucking money. I don't have the fucking money right now. And when I tell y'all he cussed me out for 30 minutes straight about wanting to take me to Snooze, or about not wanting to take me to Snooze, and Snooze is literally like a fucking $40 brunch. Especially during brunch, I didn't drink at all. I would get a fucking tea. That's $2. He would bitch and moan and complain and whine about a $40 brunch date. He did that for 30 minutes straight. He was in the bedroom on his phone while I was in the living room, and he just cussing me out the entire time, just screaming at me. So then afterwards, after he got done cussing at me, chilled out, right? And he was just in the bedroom on his phone. And then he came out after like about an hour or so of him yelling at me for 30 minutes straight. And he goes, hey, I think I want a tattoo today. My budget is $250. Can you help me find somebody that'll do it for me?
Yeah, you seen Getting fucked up, that don't you?
Your budget is $250, but you just cussed me out over a $40 brunch date. That was the type of man that he was, right? Like when I tell you, he was just screaming and screaming and screaming and screaming and screaming and cussing and hollering. And it was just like, I didn't know it had to be all that over $40. Like, I get it. All you gotta do is just say no. And then like at some point I was like, I'll pay for it. No, what do you think? You think I'm that type of fucking man that'll let a woman pay for my motherfucking food? And then an hour later, he wants a $250 tattoo that day. Okay, and he was like, and then we can go to brunch because I already know you're thinking, how can he afford a $250 tattoo but not a $40 brunch date at Snooze? He literally said that verbatim. I was like, oh bitch, you're weird. What if I shot you? Like, I think that would solve all of our problems. Fast forward, right? Like I said, I asked him, like, have you been cheating on me? Like, what's up? Because I just genuinely wanted to know, like, now I'm getting like physical proof that you're cheating on me. What's going on with this, right? And he tells me, I haven't been cheating on you. Why'd you think that? I don't know, Darian. I don't know why you're feeling that way. Have you been cheating on me? And like, it's just like, what? Like, why would I ask you if I've been cheating on you? But I know why, and you'll see why later. Why would I ask you if I've been cheating on you? Why wouldn't I just go quietly get treated and then not say anything until you went and got treated too, and just not have sex with you until you went and got treated too? Like, why would I tell you if I've been cheating on you and caused something? First of all. Second of all, why would I cheat raw? Do you think I'm a fucking animal? So I was like, okay, SB, like, you got it, whatever. So I went to my gynecologist. Thankfully, by the grace of God, all I had was BV, bacterial vaginosis. If you guys don't know, because I know there are some people out there that actually think bacterial vaginosis is an STI. It is not. It is not, and I need y'all, especially women, I need y'all to be more hip and more in the know about women's health. BV is not an STI. You can have 3 different infections. You can have a yeast infection. You can have a bacterial infection, which is BV. And then you can have a viral infection, which is an STI. So BV is just a bacterial infection. A bacterial infection is really like a yeast infection. You just take antibiotics and you're good. It is not an STI. Please understand that. So I tested positive for bacterial vaginosis, but absolutely nothing else. Everything else was negative, right? And so I was like, okay. And he and I were not compatible. So there were other times in our relationship where I would get BV, but it might have also been like his behavior. But I had gotten BV before, but this was just more like an aggressive case of BV. And so I was just like, okay, cool, whatever, it's BV, I'll take my antibiotics, I'll be good, right? And so I told him, like, oh, I just ended up having BV. And he was like, okay, cool, whatever. I took my antibiotics and I went to Miami. When I came back from Miami, I had went through his phone. For some reason, I did not go through the text that was between him and Fran. I went through other texts of bitches' names who I did not recognize, and I saw one girl, and she literally was texting him like, you lost out on a girl that actually fucking loved you and was in love with you and da 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 da. And I asked him about it, and he said like, oh, that was when you broke up with me for 2 days. 2 days, and this bitch is talking about she was in love with you. You're fucking lying. Don't no bitch fall in love in 2 days. I know men do that shit. Women don't do that shit unless she's fucking nuts, and this bitch don't sound batshit crazy. Like, what are you talking about? And so I was like, okay, bro, whatever. So, and like at this point, I need y'all to understand, it just wasn't possible for me to break up with him. Like, there were times where I tried to break up with him, and he literally would like force himself to throw up in front of me and start like getting on his knees, sobbing and begging for me to not break up with him. I remember one time I was like staying with his parents because I was waiting on my apartment to be ready for me to move into, right? And he was in his college town, and I was like, I literally just got like a feeling that came over me of like, I need to break up with him. And so I texted him and I said, I think we should break up. And this was like at like midnight, maybe 11:30. Why did this man jump in his car and start driving to his parents' house? And he was in his college town, and like the road between his college town and our hometown is like there's no lights on the road. It's old as fuck. The highway is barely developed, and he was driving down the freeway doing 110 trying to get here so that he could tell me, like, so he could beg for me back and tell me not to break up with him and everything. And his mom, he got his mom to come up in the bedroom and tell me, like, just tell him y'all are okay, just tell him, like, you'll take him back, da da da. Literally like how Eeyore's mom used to do. I ended up having to take him back even though I knew that I didn't want to, because it was just like, you're not doing right by me. Like, there were times, like, before all of this happened with like his best friend Fran and all that shit, like, he would be screaming at me all the time. He would be yelling at me, he'd be cussing me out and everything. So it was just like, I don't want to be in a relationship where like every other day is an argument. Especially because like once I got out of this relationship and I got into another relationship, me and that man never argued. Like, even till this day, we're broken up and we never had a fucking argument. So it was just like, I knew that arguing every single day was not normal. And like, as much as men who argue with you all the time try to make it seem like that's what love is, that's not what love is. Because when you get into a relationship where like it's mutual respect, you never argue. Like, arguments are just not a thing that exists. Raising your voice is just not a thing that exists. Cussing each other is not a thing that exists. Like, even when y'all get into disagreements, even when y'all are in the process of breaking up, it's just not a thing that exists. And so it's just like you're not doing right by me. Why has it been 3.5 years of us being together and I get excited when we have a day where we don't argue? That's sad. That's fucking sad. That's some high school shit. I'm a grown ass woman. Why am I getting happy about when we don't argue with each other? That's not right, you know? But he would always like make himself throw up in front of me, or like cry in front of me, or beg and plead in front of me to take him back and shit. And so I would take him back. So at this point, I literally just gave up on breaking up with him. And I was just like, I'm just let you break up with me, because it's obvious that you're not going to let me be done with you until you're ready to be done with me, right? When I caught him texting that girl, unfortunately, we ended up doing the thing, okay? We ended up banging and swinging in that bedroom. And it was really unfortunate, but it was just like him trying to like prove his love to me or whatever, right? A week later, he was at my house, right? He got a call from Fran. And mind you, it was like 11:45 at night. It was super fucking late, and he got a call from her. And he walks out of the apartment when he gets on the phone with her. And I'm like, what the fuck? And so when he walks out, he goes and sits in his car. And so when he does that, I'm sitting in the house for like 10 minutes and I'm like, no. So I get up and I go out of my apartment and I go down the stairs and I go and stand outside of the apartment complex, or outside of the apartment building. And I'm just staring at him in his car. And he's like looking at me while he's talking on the phone, and he was like, and I'm like, and so he texts me while he's on the phone. He's like, what? And I'm like, why are you sitting outside in the fucking car talking to some bitch at midnight? Because at this point it's midnight, right? And he was like, do you want me to come in the house? I said, obviously, come in the fucking house. He's like, okay, bro. So he gets out of the car. I go back upstairs. He comes back upstairs with me, and then he goes and shuts himself in the bedroom. They're on the phone until 1:45 in the morning. And so he gets off the phone, and I'm like, I really didn't like that. I need you to tell that girl that she cannot call you past a certain time at night, because that's not appropriate. You have a girlfriend. You are over at your girlfriend's house. Why is she calling you at 11:45 at night to get on the phone with you? That's not appropriate. Don't nothing happen at this time of night except spreaded legs and pillow talk. Why the fuck are you on the phone with her at 11:45 at night until 1:45 in the morning? That's not okay. And he was like, bro, like, why are you tripping? I was like, I'm not tripping. I'm being dead fucking serious, because once again, if my guy friend was to call me at 11:45 at night, you'd be bitching, moaning, complaining, and whining. You'd be screaming at me Fuck that. You be screaming at me, calling me out of my name. You be snatching my phone out of my motherfucking hand. You be pissed. You be on the way to your parents' house right now if I was on the phone with him until 1:45 at night. Stop. Do not let that bitch call you anymore at 1:45 in the fucking morning. Are you dumb? Are you dumb? And he was like, well, she was telling me, apparently she was telling him about like some thing that happened to her or something. And I was like, he was like, you know, she didn't want me to like listen to this around people. And mind you, he was in the bedroom when she first said like, are you around people? He was in the bedroom and I was in the living room. I couldn't hear her. I couldn't hear it. Like, he didn't have the phone on speaker. He had it up to his ear. I couldn't hear her. And it's not like you're going to say anything that would allude to that. And then you just told me right now. So it's like, why couldn't you be in the house to listen to that? Why'd you have to be all the way in your fucking car outside to hear that shit? And it was just like, it was one of those things. I literally told him, I was like, so she called you, a man that she met 3 months ago, to tell you about a traumatic experience that happened to her a week ago, instead of calling her best friend that she's known since she was 14. You don't think that's strange? And he's like, it doesn't matter what I think. Like, she went through something fucking horrible, Darian. Why are you being such a bitch? Because I want to know why the fuck she would call you after 3 months of knowing you, when she could have called her best friend that she's known for almost a fucking decade now, that y'all all hang out with. Why wouldn't she call her? Why would she call you? That doesn't make any fucking sense. So I was like, oh, that's strange. And I was just like, he's doing something with her. He's doing something with her. And I really, like, I needed proof. And you know, like, at this point, I don't need proof. Like, at this age, I don't need proof. But like back then, I was just like, I need proof. I need proof that he was doing something with her. Like, it's strange. Like, and it's also a thing of like, I just need him to break up with me, because it's obvious that like at this point, because I tried to break up with him literally like at least 10 times. And he would not, he wouldn't allow it, right? Like, he would always do some type of shit to like talk me out of it or something like that, right? I remember one day I was at work and I got a call, and it's from SB, and I'm like, okay. So I get up and I tell my coworker I'm gonna go use the restroom. So I get up and I go to the restroom and I answer the phone and I'm like, hey, what's up? This man goes, who have you been cheating with?
What happened to hello? How are you? My name is. What happened to that?
And that's the very first thing he says to me, and I'm like, what happened to hi? How are you? My name is. Like, what the fuck? So I'm like, what are you talking about? Who have I been cheating with? Who have you been cheating on me with, Darian? And I'm like, nobody. Like, what are you talking about? And he was like, oh, really? So then why did I just test positive for herpes and fucking chlamydia? And I'm gonna stop there. This whole story, this whole series is gonna be something fucking wild. Like I said, there are other stories, so this is not going to be like the end of SB. There's going to be this right here is going to be a series of like the end of me and SB's relationship, because a lot happened at the end of our relationship. But there are going to be like other stories that happen that I can tell that happened before these like months or whatever, but I just felt like telling this. But I will talk to y'all next time. I gotta go. Jaylee is literally just sitting in my fucking bedroom, not doing shit, just on her fucking TikTok. And I will talk to y'all next time. Thank you so very much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see y'all next time. Peace.